Welcome to Pillars of Composition 2. This course is intended to take you from the basics of composition into more intermediate and advanced topics. In Pillars 1, we covered how to write a theme, how to choose chords, arrangement techniques, and the basics of structuring your music into ABA form. In this course, we're going to push these topics further and tackle new areas. The main core of the course is the Sonata Form, a structural design for music that balances unity and contrast, gives you space to develop and play with your ideas, emphasizes modulating through different keys, and will most importantly give you a reliable and time-tested blueprint for composing longer pieces of music. If you feel like you've never been able to write a piece longer than 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to fix that here. The course is structured into 4 modules, and each module visits 4 different topics. The first topic is the Sonata Form, the heart of the course. In Module 1, we'll go over the basic overview of the form, and then in the remaining 3 modules, we'll get specific into the 3 main sections of the form. The next topic is harmony, where we move into more advanced topics than we covered in Pillars 1. We'll cover things like 7th chords and extensions, modulation, and reharmonization. The third section is a new one for the course, but absolutely essential: ear training. And the 4th section in each module is a grab bag of important topics such as composing processes, choosing instruments, and more. All right, enough with the intro. Let's get going so we can start writing some music. I want to start by introducing you to the Sonata Form from a broad, zoomed out view. In this lesson, I'll talk about the 3 major sections of the form, and throughout the rest of the course, we'll break each part down into smaller and smaller detail. I'm calling it Sonata Form. It can also be called Sonata Allegro Form because it's usually used for pieces at a moderate to fast tempo. But it doesn't have to be. You can use this form at slow tempos too. That name is just based on classical tradition. And I'll remind you once again that classical tradition is not what we're really going for here. The classical masters figured out some really brilliant things about how to organize themes, how to achieve contrast, development, and a satisfactory flow in your music. But we're only going to take the parts that still serve us in the 21st century. So thank you, Haydn, and Mozart will take it from here. The sonata is basically a 3-part form. At its core, it's ABA, but each of those letters is far more complex than just a single theme each, like what we had in Pillars of Composition 1. The 3 main parts are exposition, development, and recapitulation. And each of these parts has a standard 3-part structure within it as well. Ignoring introductions for now, it starts with the exposition. This is where you present your main themes and basically tell everyone this is the material we're working with and exploring in this movement. The basic structure of the exposition is A, transition, B. It begins with a theme or a group of themes in the home key. That's our A. You then have a transition, either very short or extended, that modulates from the home key to some secondary key. Traditionally, in a major key, that would be a modulation from 1 to 5. Then you have the B theme, or B themes, if you have more than one, in the secondary key. And you end the B section with a cadence in that secondary key, essentially taking us on a journey away from home, and now we're going to have to find our way back home. The option to have more than one A theme or B theme is an important point that some people gloss over, but I think it's important to know. It will also make listening to other composers' sonatas easier if you know that there can be more than one theme in each section. In the old days, the exposition would be repeated exactly, but as expositions got longer, it became conventional to skip the repeat. Whether to repeat or not is up to you. So, exposition. A theme or set of themes in the home key, a transition that modulates from the home key to the secondary key, and a theme or set of themes in the secondary key. Some people say it's an A theme, transition, and B theme, but this glosses over the fact that you can have more than one theme in each part. After the exposition comes the middle part of our form, the development. At the most basic level, this is where you play with your ideas and develop them. Take the material from the exposition and explore it. See what else it can do and where else it can go. Usually you'll explore different key centers too, but really your imagination is the limit. The development can be totally freeform, but there is also a common 3-part structure that works here as well. A common way to structure the development is with a theme, called the pre-core, then a melodic unit that sequences, which we will call the core, and finally a standing on the dominant, which acts like a big 5 chord before we resolve back into the home key and begin the recapitulation. I know I just threw in a bunch of terms there. Don't worry, you don't need to take notes yet. We will get into more detail on all of this. Finally, after the development comes the recapitulation, which in our ABA model is like the return to A. The most simple version of the recapitulation is to just copy-paste your exposition, but with one exception. In the exposition, your B themes were in the secondary key. In the recapitulation, your B themes will be adapted to be in your home key. Usually, this means you'll need to adjust the transition as well. The recapitulation is like coming home. The tension and drama are resolved, we're back home to the Shire, and all is good in the world. The primary key has won. The recapitulation can be much more involved than this. Some composers treat the recapitulation as another opportunity to develop their themes or take them to places they haven't really gone yet. Usually the order and basic outline of the themes stays the same, but the way they are presented is changed to be more interesting or more impactful for the end of the piece. Remember that despite the possibilities for complexity, the sonata is basically ABA. Exposition, development, recapitulation. Okay, that's your broad overview. We will get into each of the 3 main parts in the remaining modules. That's the point of the course. Before that, let's talk about harmony.